Yeah.
This is your town.
Yeah, this is where
You've been here a long time.
Yeah, I moved here, I would say 2010 is when I moved here. I've been here ever since, man.
Yeah.
Tacoma Park is my area, my city. And this is where I started my academy a long time ago. And honestly, I don't think I could have done it anywhere else.
Why?
Because this community is super into the arts. They're
Yeah.
very supportive. They've helped me so many things, just marketing and just the support that I've gotten from the city. I don't think I would have gotten it anywhere else.
Yeah.
It's been really great to see them embrace this art form in this area.
I mean, like you're kind of the hub of the sport, the art. I don't know how you think about it in the whole region, I think, right? And it's here.
Right. I mean, I've been breaking for 29 years, right? And so I'm a member of certain crews in the area that are pretty legendary,
Yeah.
and I've always wanted to find a way to teach people something that I grew up doing, and also something that is a part of the DMV, honestly, and a part of the world at this point. But in this area, we are the largest academy, and maybe even around the country, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
We've been around 14 years now, taught thousands of kids and parents, and educated as many people as we can about the art form as a sport,
Yeah.
but as an art and also as a lifestyle.
You learned about this when you were a kid, but you were born in Mexico.
Yeah.
I can't imagine breaking was a big thing in Mexico, right?
No. It's what's crazy is because where I grew up, there's a music styles over there that's like ranchera music. It's like traditional Mexican music, right? And there's another thing that we have over there that are like corridos, which means it's like hip hop for Mexicans basically, but it has a certain tune to it.
Different
It's
than
a different tune, yeah.
hip hop than American hip hop.
So when I heard a different sound, which was more of the bum 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 ba-dum bum, that sound, I've never heard it before because we don't have that over there. So in Mexico, when I first heard
but
that
the
sound,
same rhythms maybe, like, or same pacing of the rhythm,
not even because breakbeats are a little bit faster than just regular hip hop music. A breakbeat is much faster, so it gives you this energy. So my cousins came to see it, to visit us. They put on a little show for my family.
Yeah.
I heard the music and I saw them throwing themselves on the ground, and I just knew that I
Like
needed
they
to
saw
do
this in
that.
America.
They
came to your house.
Exactly, because see,
Yeah.
this is in the 80s, and breaking all the movies that were coming out.
Yeah.
So it was on TV over here. So for them, they saw it and they were influenced by it. So they brought it over there. It was kind of interesting because I was always that young kid that used to get all the attention from my relatives.
Yeah.
And when they went over there and performed, now they were getting all the attention.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't like that. I'm going to start doing that.
I mean, when I was a kid, I took breakdancing lessons.
Right.
Because breaking came out, Beat Street came out.
all
it,
at the
like,
same
it
time.
surged.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it became a thing.
Right.
And we're having what looks to be maybe a revival. Like,
Well,
what's this place?
This is our old town, Tacoma Park. This
Yeah.
is where this has been here forever. When I moved here, all these stores were much different than what they are right now.
Yeah.
But this is when I first moved, because I grew up in Virginia, and I moved here, and I'm from the suburbs, right? So I moved here. It's more urban. You know, the city's right there.
Yeah.
It's different. So it was all a unique experience for me just moving here. But I always loved to dance, right? And so this place right here used to be a dance studio right above us, and then I used to clean this place so that I could practice there for free.
Now the sport's in the Olympics. What was your role in getting that going?
Yeah, I mean, when I started the school, one of the first questions a parent had when I had a battle was, how did my son win? And I had no answer. I said, oh, the judges.
It's subjective.
The judges, they just liked him, you know, or he did this, but I'm not. I'm the organizer. I'm not the judge. So I have no way of doing that. So what I ended up doing is I created a report card. That's what I called it. It was a report card, and it was on a piece of paper. And now it's when there's a battle, now there's a way for the judges to show a report that you can see and I can see, and I can show the parents. And then we can talk about it as a group, like what you did wrong and what you could do better.
Right.
It started out with that. that led
and
to
pick a winner.
pick a winner that way.
Right.
And then that way, if the parent comes up to me, I can say, here's a copy of what happened, here's the judge, we called it a breaking report card. But I didn't realize that that breaking report card was actually a scoring system for breaking. So I had no idea.
You didn't realize what you'd created.
I didn't realize it, but other people did.
So what was your role with the United States in getting the team together, and kind of where are you now with that?
Yeah, so I started out, again, just building scoring systems and doing these things. I then created a national league called the Competitive Breaking League.
Yeah.
And so I held an event, and I told everyone that I was going to call the sport of breaking competitive breaking. And people said, don't do that.
Why?
Because it's breaking, it's a battle. But I said, no, the sport of breaking is called competitive breaking, okay? And so I ran with it. I started a league, started traveling around the country with a very sporty platform, and I started showing different communities this system, and a lot of people really embraced it, and I actually created a national championship and a national team.
Which didn't exist.
Which didn't exist. There was no national team, and I started pretending that we were creating a national team years and years ago. And so all this stuff, I was.
But you weren't thinking about like the Olympics, were you?
I always thought that someday it could happen, because Taekwondo was, it's the same path. It's Taekwondo, and so I always thought about it like that. I didn't know how fast it would happen. I mean, it could have taken forever, but in this case, it didn't. It happened pretty fast.
Yeah.
But what I ended up doing after that is that I started this petition, right? In 2018, breaking was added to the Buenos Aires Olympic Games, and I was watching what was going on, and I didn't want to sit back and do nothing, right? Because I wasn't the kind of person that just wanted to break for a living. I wanted to make a difference in breaking. And so I started this petition that basically was asking the IOC to add 2 spots so that USA breakers could go to the Youth Olympics. Didn't happen. I then just kept pushing on that. I started trying to organize a community, connected with USA Dance, which is the governing body in the United States.
Yeah.
So in the world, you have the IOC, you have the World Dance Sport Federation, which were the ones who pitched breaking to be in pairs. I connected with USA Dance, and I started pitching to them the idea that if we don't start now, if breaking is in the Olympics again, we again won't have a national team. And we can't allow that to happen, because this is the birthplace of it all.
Yeah.
I mean, if it wasn't for...
How are we not part of this?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
If it wasn't for kids in the Bronx in the 70s breaking on streets or wherever, we wouldn't even be talking about this right now.
Hip-hop's born here.
Right.
Dancing comes with it.
Right.
This is birthed here.
This is where it's at. And so I really took that as an initiative, right, to try to motivate the community to start working together and to really put this thing, to really make it happen, right? And now we are going. My dad passed away 9 months ago now.
Sorry.
And after that, I really started thinking about my own life, and started thinking about what I want to do, and started thinking about the stuff that I want to leave for people when I'm no longer here. And what I've already done is already done. What I do from here on out is a whole new thing, and I believe in myself, and I believe in what I'm doing, and I do think that I will be able to do more amazing things and inspire people as much as I can, because that's what I'm doing every day.
What did your dad think of all the things you've done and what's happening this summer?
Yeah, it was crazy, because my dad, I started working construction with my dad, and I really liked it. And the same thing, I got really into it and started coming up with ideas for construction too.
Yeah.
I started thinking of like, why are these guys pulling up, because my dad was a mason. So why are these guys throwing bricks up? That's kind of dangerous. Why don't we build some kind of pulley system? I started getting creative with that too. And I spent about 6 years working with my dad. And then eventually I realized that I didn't want to do the same thing as my dad. He didn't bring me to the United States to do the same thing that he does, because he'd always used to tell me, like, if you find something that you have a passion for, and you discipline and you focus on it, you can do that. So I just followed my own path. I didn't get into breaking because I had an interest in it from somewhere else. I got it because my cousins, who are part of my family, in a little ranch in the middle of Mexico, where I shouldn't have seen it, and I saw it. In that connection, all those elements, it's like a seed planted in me, and it never let me go. No matter what I do, like no matter what I do, I could stop right now, and I guarantee you, I move somewhere else, and I would start something with breaking.
Yeah.
I just can't do anything else, you know. And so when you find that clear path in your life, and you can see it, it's a different mindset, and it takes a lot more discipline to make things happen than people really think, you know. But one step at a time.
Let's go take a look.
Yeah, let's go in here, man. These guys are in here practicing right now.
So for like kids who want to do this, how hard is it to learn?
It's not hard to learn if you have a good coach, and if you have a coach that knows how to work with kids. I think that's really important. It's like any other sport, right? The best coaches have the best students because they're able to bring out the best of them. So it really is that. I mean, I think any kid can get into it. It does require a certain level of passion for it, but the love of dance is something that the coach brings to them. And hopefully, and that's the biggest mission for a coach, is to make sure your kids love it enough where you don't got to tell them to go practice.
Yeah.
They just do it on their own. So these guys right here, they started breaking with me, and I don't have to tell them. Like, these guys practice every day.
Yeah.
I don't have to go and, hey, are you guys practicing today? This is what they do.
The lines, it's the box, right?
Yeah,
That's
right.
another thing you
Yeah,
did.
I came up with it. The idea was to create an arena for it, like a court that we could measure, where if you stepped out, you would lose points. Because in breaking, if you're in a cipher, and if you kick somebody, it's pretty whack. If you kick somebody, it's not good, right? So they train in a small space to just. It also makes it fair because everyone has equal amount of space.
So like you started this as almost like a safety measure a little bit, but turned into the competitive part of it.
Yeah,
it's like the same thing like the scoring thing you were telling me about earlier.
Same thing.
You didn't intend it to go the way it did.
I put painter's tape on the floor one day, and then I reviewed the video, and I noticed people were following it. So then I started changing the colors, and then I started looking at other sports and realized that everyone uses white for their course because they've already figured it out.
Yeah.
So why reinvent the wheel? I just use white, and that's really what it is.
I mean, you know, there's two things that just come to mind, like watching this with you. Like this, you started doing this, you're a little kid, you're on a ranch in Mexico, you're doing this now. To see it in Paris, like, what do you think? Are you a kid again? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I think is going to happen. It's going to take me back to when I was a kid and the first time I saw it, because, you know, I don't really go to a lot of big events like that. I don't, you know, I've never been to some of the biggest events in the world, so I haven't had that experience.
Why?
Right? Part of it is that I'm busy. I'm working.
Yeah.
You know, my time is used doing what I'm doing. I can't be traveling, and it takes too much of my time. But
well, they took all your ideas.
I don't know about all that, but the fact is that I'll be able to see it again. So I hope that I get that feeling I had when I was a kid. That'll be a nice experience for me. I'm gonna be wearing glasses though, because I'll probably start crying when I see it. But you know, that's a whole other thing.